Pasture Mowing. Gene and Debbie would like to thank you for another successful year of business. We want to wish everybody a safe, healthy, and prosperous 2017. We are ready to be of service with our pasture mowing. 352-629-2440. Locally owned and operated. Experienced and reliable. Commercial and residential. Licensed and insured. Powell Gene, Gene @yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440. Proud United States veteran.
Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala!
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. It's really a nice looking Wednesday morning. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
At the very core of what this country is about is representation. That is at the very core. I think when the Founding Fathers decided to create the Constitution that we all are supposed to be living by, that was the main thing. And they didn't want it to be completely democratic in that your vote and my vote couldn't be skewed, I guess, by the larger cities' votes, because obviously somebody who's working in a rural area has different concerns than somebody who lives in a city area where the population is more dense. And we therefore created this democratic republic, which, if you remember, you just basic social studies, right? You understand that means you have somebody representing you in the government, because we obviously can't all be there. Today, maybe it's a little different because we've got, the internet and all that, but we still live by that same system. So we have on the phone Dr. Stephen Kull. He's from the University of Maryland's School of Public Policy's Program for Public Consultation. He wants to tell us about a study. It's a very fascinating study. It looks like 2,411 voters were asked what they thought about the people being represented accurately, or appropriately, maybe, or both, in our government. And it looks like we're not all that convinced that we're being... And I think I understand why people are answering these ways. Because people with money, and you can say other governments, you can say corporations, you can just say individuals who have money, who want to influence the government, often do. And I often think that's not the failure of the corporations, that's the failure of the legislators for taking the money.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh. It's a big topic, and we only have a short time with Dr. Kull. Good morning, Doctor. What an honor to have you on the show. Thank you for being on with us today.
My pleasure.
Where are you calling from?
I'm in Washington, D.C. right now.
All right, so tell me about the study that you did. What did it reveal to you? And you with the what was the name of the group again? The Voice of the People?
Correct.
Okay.
Was an organization seeking to give the people a greater voice in government, partly in response to the kind of research that we've been doing for some years, but we did another really in-depth study during the election with 2,411 voters, trying to find out what the anger at government, the dissatisfaction with government is about. And it came through quite clear, loud and clear. And we're not just talking about a few, unhappy people on the periphery or in the Rust Belt or something like that. Across the country, 9 in 10 voters said elected officials think more about the interests of their campaign donors than the common good of the people. So similarly, members of Congress think more about their party than what's good for the country.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, and that they think about. I mean, the core of it is that that people in government ignore the people in favor of special interests, campaign donors, and the parties.
Was the study done after the election? It's probably a dumb question because it was so recent, but was it before, after, or even if it was before, though? So
before.
So the whole Trump-Hillary Clinton thing probably played a role in the answers, correct?
It was getting going. We did this in July while the whole and the themes were starting to appear, and something that we noticed was that both Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump were speaking to this feeling. They were saying things that resonated with people. Trump said, "We're fighting for every citizen that believes that government should serve the people, not the donors, not the special interests, and I'm going to work for you." People, this seems to be a key element in the support for Donald Trump, because we also looked at policy issues and ideology and all that, and that does not seem to be the biggest factor as much as this core dissatisfaction with representation.
So at the Voice of the People, do you have a proposal to maybe do things differently, but still accomplish the same goals as the Founding Fathers wanted?
Well, the American people are not asking for direct democracy. When we said on a scale of 0 to 10, how much influence should the people have?
Okay.
They don't say 10. The mean response is 8. Okay, so quite a lot, but not 100%. They believe in representative democracy, but they think that the people should guide government, that they should be listening to the people and should be influenced by it. And we said, well, how much influence do you think the people have now? And the mean response was 3.5.
Oh, okay.
8, right?
Yeah.
So 85% say the people should have more influence, not absolute influence, but more influence, and that they think that is what the founders had in mind. And if you read the Federalist Papers, they're right. They really did think the public should have a lot of influence.
So if 100,000 of us all got together and wanted something, but we didn't have any money to give to an elected official, this is the thing that drives me nuts. Do the people feel that our opinions don't hold as much weight as the guy who can write the check?
Absolutely. That's overwhelming perception. And one thing that Donald Trump did was he said, you think that the special interests are running everything. The people can write the checks. You're right. I did it for years, and I could buy politicians right and left.
Oh, my gosh.
But you see, now I'm so rich, I don't, nobody can buy me, so you can trust me. That was that was a big part of this appeal.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, Doctor, was in the information that was provided to us, it says that nearly 8 in 10, including both Clinton and Trump supporters, favored establishing large, representative, scientifically selected citizens advisory panels to get briefed on the issues. What is a scientifically selected? What does that mean? Scientifically selected?
To be representative of the people. It's the same techniques used in polls and surveys to get a representative sample, and these are quite reliable, so that you get in it and you balance it in terms of demographic variables of education, income, race, gender, and so on. So it's a true representative sample of.
Okay, when you ask 2,411 people for their opinions on something, do you make sure that some of them are in Baltimore, some of them are in a little town in the middle of Nebraska somewhere? I mean, do you spread it out that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do it. You start basically with a randomization of the, and then you start stratifying, making sure that you've covered all the different variables, and you weight the sample accordingly, so that it's a true mirror of the people.
Age plays a huge factor in the surveys.
Oh, it does age, really?
Well, we try to we balance it out to be representative of to align it with the census.
Okay. Obviously.
And going back to the idea that you just mentioned, we are actually working to create these citizen advisory panels. We call them a citizen cabinet, where you get typical Americans and you brief them. The idea is to put them in the shoes of a policymaker. They go through a process called a policy-making simulation, where we put them in the shoes of the policymaker, we give them a briefing, we present policy options, we present pros and cons that are just the arguments that are given in Washington, All of the content is vetted with staffers from both parties and outside groups, and then ultimately they make their recommendations to their member of Congress, and people do a good job.
And I understand what you're saying, and I think the Founding Fathers, if they could come out of the grave, would probably be in favor of this, but in their day, they would have said, this is very impractical. But in today's day, because we have such communication skills, this is not so far-fetched.
Not at all. It's totally possible.
I like the idea. Okay, so I know it's just a short interview. Can our listeners either read the survey or learn more about what you guys are doing? Is there a website?
Yeah, there's a website, vop.org, where you can go online and you can go through the process, these policymaking simulations, and get briefed and come to your conclusions, and then send your recommendations off to your members of Congress. Just look for the policymaking simulations under vop.org, and you can read more of the details of this study about why Americans are unhappy with their government and how it played a role in the 2016 election.
Doctor, you're talking to the right audience. This audience loves this kind of conversation. Thank you for taking some time to be with us today. We will go to vop.org. That stands for Voice of the People. And please come back anytime. We'd love to have a longer conversation with you, actually. So thank you, Dr. Stephen Kull. All right, we will take a break. We will be right back.
Here at high 78 to 82. For Friday, clouds and some sun with a chance of a shower at the coast. The high again 78 to 82. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be